Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I'm on the test server. So before I get into all of the new champion reviews, I will be streaming tonight with Lady H. It's been a while since we've streamed, but we're going to be doing viewer shard pulls, 7 p.m. UTC, live on YouTube. Come and join us. We might have a few bevies alongside it. So we'll play some drinking games, pull some viewer shards, and see if we can get some people some juicy legendaries. Let's see who is coming down the line. Basically looking for my red dots. And let's see what we've got going on. Couple of legendary orcs. Come back to legendaries in a minute. Avoid legendary. Maybe it's all legendaries this time. It is. Okay, all legendaries. So let's start here then. Kaolite. Kaolite the Ash Arrow. Damn, that is a sweet face. Good work on the face. Damn, that looks so good, actually. Cool bow as well. Very woody. Oh, he's actually like a satyr or whatever. Is that what it's called? Okay, pretty sweet. Very different aesthetic here. It's like, is he a demon spawn? Is he a Sylvan Watchers? Is he just a tree? Very quick, actually. So he's an attack-based dude. Over 1500 attack. We've spoken about power creep recently, and you know, basically every champ that comes in now, it just feels like they're on that kind of different curve to what we used to get. 1500 base attack is massive. 107 speed is honestly the sort of speed you see from supports, not damage dealers. So interesting to see what this guy is all about. What we've got going on. A1 attacks an enemy, places crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. Straight up every time on an A1. Pretty solid. A2, double hitter. If the initial target's killed, also attacks the enemy with the lowest HP. So potentially a double hitter twice on enemies. Both attacks ignore defense, 50%, as well as unkillable and block damage. So it's kind of like most enemies, not always, but most enemies will have, like, that are attack based, will have low HP or lower HP. The only kind of like counter to that is tanks, but then he deals with tanks pretty well anyway with the ignore defense. This should, in theory, if his multipliers are any good at all, one shot 2 different champs in like arena or something. But it's, you're selecting one and then you think you know where the other one is going. So interesting. Obviously it won't deal with stone skin, but otherwise it's dealing with annoying, you know, unkillable stuff. Then he's got the AoE as well. Each crit fills this champion's turn meter by 10%. Should crit on every hit if you build him right. So you're getting like a 40% turn meter fill. And heals by 10% of max HP. Stacks up to 50%. So I guess 50% is the max. If this attack kills an enemy, places unkillable on this champion as well. I mean, it's an interesting kit. We've got a lot of damage dealers, and he's got a lot to contend with, but it's definitely an interesting kit. Corrupted Sentinel, passive. Whenever this champion or an ally's turn meter is decreased, or an ally's, increases the damage of this champion's next attack. Wow, that's actually nuts. That's a very cool mechanic on a passive. So if your whole team get their turn meter dropped, he could go with a 100% damage boost on his next hit. Then if he kills someone with the AoE, he gets unkillable. Or you can go in with this one and just basically take 2 enemies down. So if you play him in like stone skin so that he definitely, and fairly slow, like there's a good chance if you're setting up, I don't know, like siege or something, you know what you're up against, there's a good chance you can make this happen. Then you've got an active effect as well. Whenever this champion's turn meter drops below 25% because of turn meter reduction, that sounds great, but that's not that common unless someone is literally dropping your turn meter to 0. Like, that's quite hard to get to happen. But anyway, if it does, puts block debuffs on this champion for 2 turns and grants them an extra turn. I wonder if that's literally like a Rotus, you interrupt turns. Sounds like it. Wow, okay. 30% aura in all battles. Really interesting damage dealer, actually. I've got to say it. Like, that's a very well thought out kit. I like it. We started strong. So let's go with the other 2 non-voids to start with. Aragaz. Orcs love a skull. There is a dude in there somewhere. Cool shield. Oh, it's a Unity guy. Okay. As I say, he's got one of these banners. Yeah, a Unity guy, which quite often are pretty nutty. Yeah, I like this guy. Cool artwork as ever. Raid knocking out the park. Okay, what's going on? HP based dude. 22k HP is okay. Nothing amazing there. Attacks an enemy. Heals all allies with less than 50% HP back to 50% of their max HP. Kind of okay. Okay, kind of weird. Second one here. Attacks one ally. Attacks one ally. The damage dealt is equal to 50% of the target's current HP. Then places a shield buff on that ally for 2 turns. The value of the shield equal to the HP that was lost. Also fills the ally's turn meter by an amount equal to the HP percent they are missing. Finally fills this champion's turn meter by the same amount. That's maybe the weirdest skill I've ever read. He's up there now with Nodgar. Him and Nodgar are like that. We've got some skills. That is a weird skill. I guess it's basically like we're trying to make you take turns, and then don't worry, I'm going to heal you back up. So now you've just got a big fat shield. But it's definitely a weird skill. Then got an AoE ability, 100% chance to provoke, and put strengthen on your team. This is a great skill by itself if he was just a legendary. But if he's also in his faction, one other faction dude, this champion is immune to block active skills and cooldown increasing effects. So basically is immune to like a warlord or a Yumiko, that those people. 2 people from his faction instantly activates this skill whenever an ally's HP drops below 50%. Okay, interesting. Instantly activating this skill will not place it on cooldown. So you can, I guess, use this skill, the A2, to activate the A3 and without putting the A3 on cooldown, if I'm reading that right, which is very interesting. And then a third one, third orc in the team with him, provokes cannot be resisted. So you don't need accuracy for any of his kits, which is massively different in terms of building someone like this. Okay, definitely an interesting set. We'll check the faction in a second. So the passive then, allies with 50% or less HP deal more damage. So if you've got more orcs, you've got 1 orc. Allies with 50% or less HP receive less damage as well. So deal more damage and receive less damage, 30%. Then factor in, you've got strengthen as did I see strengthen as well? Yeah, strengthen as well. Massive damage reduction. Nearly 50% damage. It probably is about 50% damage reduction. Wow. Okay. If there's 2 of them around, whenever an ally or enemy dies, increases the HP, defense, attack, and speed of all allies by 5%. Stacks up to 25%. I'm assuming that you can still revive them, and then it keeps stacking. So, like, I mean, Wukong's not an orc, but someone like a Wukong that keeps dying and getting back up can potentially stack this in full, I guess. And then you've got whenever an ally kills an enemy, grants that ally an instant turn once per round. So it could only happen one time, let's say in PvP, because there's only ever 1 round. But basically you're getting double turns for your nuker. And then here's aura here, defense in all battles and HP in all battles for orcs. So who else would you put with this guy? Well, Garrel's one of the best nukers in the game if you've got the mythical. I do feel like the game's changed a lot, and having mythicals is now where it's at. Like I'm playing at a high level in Siege. Honestly, I get wrecked. My knowledge of Arena is not strong enough anymore because I don't retain all of the knowledge of both forms of mythicals. I feel like I've won a fight. Next thing I know, somebody's transformed. Like, they nuked my whole team, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's the dude that transforms after he's dead and nukes your whole team, by the way. Like, there's just so much now to kind of like get into your brain. So unless you are actively a PvPer and you know what all of these mythicals are going to do, Christ, it's really difficult, actually. But yeah, I think with these Unity guys, you kind of need one of the mythicals in most cases. Maybe Teox is an exception, but even then, you know, it's a massive upgrade if you've got Laz. But yeah, Garrel is top tier nukage and would benefit a lot. Who else have we got in here? So Warlord, top tier PvPer still. So he could be in the mix. Who else would you call out here for PvP? See, I don't think there's anyone else in here that's kind of like meta for PvP. And that's really what you need. You need like the Unity guys to be surrounded by meta type champs. I don't think anyone else is really meta. I don't see a lot of Ashnar, but that might be because he's newer. Garrel definitely is. Warlord definitely is. But yeah, the rest of them, it's kind of like, not sure really. I'm not sure that you would make that happen. Yeah. Don't know. Let me know what you think. Zarduna is one of the other new ones. Fiery eyes. Some cool war paint going on. Pretty sweet, like braids in her hair. Kind of dread type of look. Damn. So much detailing on these champs. Really cool. Because interesting, like, because I'm now doing all of the work with Fateless and Godforge, you know, we see character models a lot. And, you know, like this, where it looks like there's kind of like these kind of like bone things, literally just drawn on. This is just drawn on. You see there's no like raised layer to it, but they do such a good job of making it feel 3D. And obviously some of the stuff is 3D, like the horns and the weaponry and stuff like that. But, you know, even this belt looks like it's 3D, but it's just great work. It's just really good work. Damn, love it. Couple of skulls on the shoulders, why not? Okay, we've got another HP champ here, 105 speed. Again, 22k, it's just like the standard nowadays. Right, A1, double hitter, heals this champ by 5% of their max HP after each hit. Okay, each hit's also got a chance to place provoke. So double hitter goes up to 40% each hit chance to provoke. It's pretty good for an A1. Like for Hydra, generally we look at provokes, or Magma Dragon, kind of decent. A2 then decreases the duration of an all allied debuffs by a turn on a 4-turn. Places heal. Also does taunt and unkillable on this champion for 2 turns. Kind of okay. Not a bad Clamorous mechanic, but on a 4-turn, it's not brilliant. Don't know. Okay skill, nothing too crazy. And then we've got AoE hits, but shield on all allies equal to 25% of the champ's max HP. So it'll be a decent shield. Whenever a shield placed by this champion expires or is removed by damage, expires or is removed, heals that ally by 50% of their max HP and gives them strengthen. This is a good skill. Like in terms of just a support carry type of thing. Allies under shield also receive less damage. Decent, nothing too crazy, I would say. Like good support. If you picked her up nice and early in the game, you know, you're, I don't know, 2 months in, this skill alone will probably carry you through the game. Like this skill right here will basically be a hard carry for your account. But other than that, nothing too crazy. Right then, let's check out the Void one for the last one. Looks pretty interesting from the profile. What is going on with this guy? Loving that. What a cool aesthetic that is. Okay, love it. I don't know if he feels Void Legendary, but there's definitely a lot of interesting stuff going on. Pretty cool effects on the blade and the gauntlet. Noiro Layasu. Good square. Kind of like squared off a rectangular cardboard cutout. Pretty sweet. Shoulder pauldrons there. Another little blade if he needs it. It's just like, which weapon am I going to use next? But pretty cool. Do I want my mouth dagger, my little blade, my sword, my bow, my cardboard cutout from a cereal packet? What do I want? Pretty cool though. I love the kind of cloth here. Yeah, nice. So what we got? An attack-based new Void Legendary. Over 1,600 attack. That's what I mean. Like crazy numbers. Double hitter. Also places an extra hit if the target's under a buff. Places 2 extra hits if the target's under a buff and is from undead. Damn. So he's got a quad hit potential. and gets an extra turn if he kills someone. I mean, you would hope that he definitely kills someone with 4 hits. So if he's attacking anyone from the undead that's got a buff of some sort, he's going in 4 times. The A2 then, double hitter. Each hit destroys max HP, not against bosses. That's kind of the only place where you really care about it, isn't it? Anyway, the damage inflicted by this skill increases by 10% for each buff and debuff on the target up to 100%. Okay, so you can go 100% more damage potentially. And if he kills someone, block revives. This is a bit like, I guess a bit like a Georgid A2 smack. Block revives really, really effective. Only thing is we're not ignoring any stone skin here, which is just prevalent currently in the arena. And it feels like he's an arena-based dude. We've got another single. So all single hits. Okay, this one does ignore stone skin. So instantly could be meta. That's basically where we're at right now. But again, it's single target. So double hitter ignores 50% defense as well as stone skin, shield, and strengthen. This is really strong if it hits hard. Very strong if it hits hard. So whenever this champion attacks, all enemies except the initial target receive damage equal to 25% of the damage dealt to the initial target. So if you are smacking a squishy for, say, 200k, I'm assuming that everyone gets hit for 50k. The extra damage will ignore 100% of each enemy's defense. This is not a crit and doesn't count as a hit. Does not count as a hit. Okay, that's really interesting. So potentially you smack someone and kill the whole team, I guess is the vibe. Really interesting, actually. I like that. Because it does then mean, like, potentially he could be very good in Hydra as well if he does loads of damage. It's like an inbuilt Hex, but on something. Just depends whether a single target smack can make up for, you know, what you're lacking in AoEs. And I think probably it doesn't, because he's not bringing anything else for Hydra. He's basically a PvP guy. Could be interesting, though. Definitely worth a playtest, see how good he is. But yeah, that's it. 4 new ones, all legendary. Let me know what you think down below. I'll see you soon.